feel like I'm dying. I feel like I need to go to the hospital or something. And he tells me, no. I look at the floor, there's just blood splattered around. I'm feeling numb, like the life of me is coming out of my body, and that's what's going on. I'm in this foreign country. These people they don't speak English. I'm trying to get help, but they don't understand what I'm trying to tell them. I start feeling every single like implantation for the next hour and a half in it. So this is my experience getting a hair transplant in Turkey. So in order for me to explain this, I need to take you back to when I first started noticing probably one of my biggest insecurities, and in general one of the man's biggest insecurities, is losing their hair. So I was I think I was 18 or 19 in the middle of a haircut. Kind of funny, ironic tragedy about this is I always used to have like really short hair. I mean, like buzz cut. I'll probably include a photo right now. My whole entire life. And then right when I had this one cut, the barber, she looked at me and she told me, "Hey, I think you're losing your hair." And I looked at the mirror. I'm like, "Oh," didn't really think much of it. And I think when I turned 21, I decided to grow out my hair, and I kind of I enjoyed that 1 year of having kind of like that long, luscious, like boy band kind of look. It helped out. So yeah, after that 1 year, I kind of noticed like it was starting to thin a little bit more, and then it became kind of harder to style it to the certain way I wanted to, and yeah, I just kept with that same insecurity. I kept it hidden for months and years on end, pretty much. And then I turned 23, and I finally got a job that actually paid me decently, that I could actually afford to buy stuff. So I immediately, as the type of person I am, a pretty proactive person, and I immediately started doing a bunch of research and see, hey, what can I do about this? Can I combat it? Do I just freaking give up and shave the whole entire thing? Because I did not want to do that, because I have a tiny head, so I did not want to do that. Actually, backstory. So one of the people that first came up when you researched this back in, I think 2019, 2020, was this guy named Derek from More Plates, More Dates, and it's kind of funny discovering like that guy back then and seeing what he's become right now. It's pretty inspiring if you ask me. So I would look at his content, and he would pretty much tell you, hey, the only two proven methods that you could combat this is getting on medication. So first medication I got on was finasteride and minoxidil. So I was using those when I was 23, and I still use that today. So it kind of does work. There's not really much side effects that I've encountered, but then again, everybody else's own situation can be different. So just try for yourself if you're in this kind of situation, see if it suits you. But yeah, I was using those medications, and it still kept thinning a little bit. And being the type of person I am, I kind of wanted to do something about it, but unfortunately 2020 happened, and everybody got laid off, and the whole world kind of shut down for that little bit of time. And I was one of those people that got laid off, and during that time I kind of got into a bad habit of taking a bunch of edibles. So I would do that pretty much on my pastime, and I feel like that probably made me a little bit more paranoid, if you ask me. But hey, shit happens. So while I was probably on those psychedelic drugs, I kind of did more research about getting my hair kind of fixed. And one of the things that popped up, one of the things that always popped up was like getting a hair transplant in Turkey, and then seeing how like little it costs, or like seeing how little cost effective it was to get one over there. So I kept doing more and more research, and I was delving more into the edibles, and that kind of led me to one day go on a WhatsApp and message one of these clinics, and then one thing led to another, and then I booked a flight to Turkey pretty much. And I think I was 25 at this time. So at 25, during COVID actually too, so going through an airport was a nightmare. But even then, nevertheless. So it was 2020 during COVID, and I go to Turkey to get this hair transplant. Once you sign up for one of these clinics, you get pretty much a whole entire package. So what you get included in these clinics are transportation to the hotel that you're going to be staying at, and also transportation to the clinic that you're going to be getting the procedure done. So immediately I arrived at Turkey, and I get in one of these like luxurious kind of vans that they always promise you, and you don't really think it's going to look like that, but in my experience, it looked just like it. So it was pretty cool if you ask me. So I get inside this van, and then this van, it took me to the place I was going to stay at for the following 3 days, which was they promised you like a high level kind of like resort type of thing, and I'm not saying it didn't live up to it, but it was like a good spot, in the middle of downtown Turkey. It was actually during a winter storm, so it looked pretty beautiful where I was staying at, honestly. So yeah, you're pretty much you stay there for the night, kind of get recovered, and then the following day you wake up, I think at 5 in the morning, and they advise you to eat a big meal, and they do that for a reason, which I'll probably tell you later on. So they advise you to eat a big meal. Me at that time, I'm not really much of a breakfast person, if you ask me, so I didn't do that. So I get to the clinic on an empty stomach, and right when you get to the clinic, that's when they do kind of the introduction. You have a translator there, and she's pretty much guiding you with the whole entire clinician, because most of the people there, even though it's a high level place, honestly, the clinic was a beautiful spot. I'm kind of surprised it's there in Turkey. Like, you would compare like one of those clinics to one of these clinics here, it's uncomparable. The amount of technology that they got over there, they're running it smooth. So you get there, and immediately they do blood work on you. They do all these other tests. They shave your head, and they take pictures. I don't have any of the before pictures of when I was at that clinic and they shaved my hair. They kind of also do like an outline of where their hairline's going to be at. You also have a consultation with one of the head doctors over there. I'm not going to say this specific clinic because I'm not sponsored by them or nothing like that. So there's nothing bad with them too also, but I'm just not going to say their name. But and then after that, you go to one of their operating rooms. And now this place that I was at specifically had about 15 different operating rooms. So it was one of those like farm factory kind of styles where you just go there. They do all these procedures all the time. So you're pretty much working with a nurse or somebody who's familiar with doing this procedure. So it's not that same doctor that they usually advertise, even though you can pay extra to get that doctor to do the procedure for you. But realistically, I don't think you need to do that for the most part. But then again, I'm no expert. So yeah, just do whatever you think is best. So you go inside this operating room, and you're pretty much first numbed with the first incisions. Now, what people talk about having extreme pain with these first incisions is completely true. Those things hurt so fucking bad. I remember when they were going inside, I started tearing up like, oh my fucking god, this shit hurts. But don't worry about it. It lasts like 10 seconds, but then again, they gotta do 3 different incisions. So you get one in the back right here, another one in the back of the other side, and I think one kind of on top too. So you just gotta deal with it. After about like 10 minutes, you feel completely numb. So now's when they actually start the procedure. So the whole thing beforehand was just prep, and now it's go time. So what they do is take hairs from the back of your head, kind of put them in another basket. Then you have another nurse who separates each individual graft to a strand of hair, and they're just plucking hairs out from the back of your head and eventually transporting to the top. So the first stage pretty much took, I want to say, probably like an hour and a half to 3 hours, and during that time I didn't feel anything. There was no pain. the anesthesia was working pretty well, so I didn't feel anything. But then right when they started doing the top of the head, which was the main procedure, the implantation, because what they were doing beforehand was just the extraction. So after you're done with the extraction portion of the procedure, they move on to the implantation portion of the procedure, which the first part probably took about like 3 hours maybe to complete, and the second part was probably going to take about the same. So throughout that time, I didn't feel any pain. There was nothing to really worry about, but I did notice a lot of blood along the side of the tables and on the floors, and I didn't really think much of it, but nothing really bad came from it until about midway through the implantation part. It's when I start feeling drowsy, feeling oozy, just not feeling like myself, and I just keep going and going and going, and then all of a sudden I just start feeling numb, like the life of me is coming out of my body. And that's when I started thinking, like, oh my god, what's going on? I'm in this foreign country. These people, they don't speak English. I'm trying to get help, but they don't understand what I'm trying to tell them. So midway through the implantation, I asked one of them, hey, can you get like a translator here, because I don't feel good at all, and I feel like I need to go to the hospital, and just nobody there is really listening, or nobody there is really understanding what I'm saying, because there's a language barrier, which is kind of frightening when you're 25 in a foreign country all by yourself. You're just you feel a type of way, So thankfully they get a translator there, and midway through the conversation with him, I just tell him like, hey, I don't feel good, man. I feel like I'm dying. I feel like I need to go to the hospital or something. And he tells me, no. If we leave right now to the hospital, you're going to lose all those grafts that we've already extracted. So me in that kind of delirious state, I also start thinking like he's kind of right in this circumstance. So the only thing that they're able to do is they give me an IV, and they kind of pause the procedure for a bit, because throughout this whole entire time they're still plucking, they're still going in there, because it's a time sensitive procedure. So if you stop for a prolonged period of time, you're going to lose all that process that you've done. They stop the procedure momentarily. I get IV, I try to get some food into me. I look at the floor, there's just blood splattered around. I'm just bleeding profusely, and realizing now what the main cause was, the lack of me eating in the morning, what caused everything to kind of spiral out of control. So that was kind of my fault at the end of the day. I just didn't know back then. So yeah, they give me an IV, they gave me some food, and we're midway through the procedure, and then I start losing that numbness also. So about the next hour and a half, I feel everything, because when they start extracting and implanting, they also do these holes that they implant on top of your head. So I start feeling every single like implantation for the next hour and a half, and then it kind of felt like a little bit of a torture, but I had to go to a different kind of mindset to really deal with that kind of discomfort or pain, because I knew in the long run it was needed to finish off this procedure that I've kind of wanted my whole entire life. So for the next hour and a half, I'm just fucking chugging along, going through this pain, dealing with it, not giving a damn. Thankfully, they finish, they bandage me up, my head's all swollen, I'm delirious, I'm dehydrated, I've been bleeding the whole entire time. So I was in a bad state, man. I was in a bad state, but yeah, I remember I went to the bathroom, and I immediately started throwing up, and threw up for like about 5 minutes straight. And then so after me throwing up for about 5 minutes straight, the nurse she knocks on the door, and she asks me, are you okay? And I tell her, like, I guess, I don't know, I think I need a rest or something. So obviously they check on me, they check my hair transplant, spray it up, make sure everything's good, and then they send me home. They also put like a wrap on you, so whenever you go and get that procedure, it's supposed to help with the swelling to make the swelling kind of go down, but I don't really know if it did much. And they also give you like a neck pillow, so that way you don't sleep on the grafts and potentially ruin all that process that you took so much time and so much pain to go through. So, and once the procedure ended and I'm back inside the hotel room, I kind of feel the numbing wear off completely, and I notice my neck, it's kind of a little bit more stiff, and then it kind of realized I kind of put my neck in a weird or compromised position. I didn't know, and I didn't feel it because of the numbing. So once the numbing wore off, I kind of felt my neck a little bit more discomfort and stiff. So I had to deal with that also too. So yeah, and then in the long run, if you ask me like, would I do it again? The answer is yes, but this time I'd probably eat breakfast. So that's the story of me getting a hair transplant in Turkey. If you have any questions or sympathize with me, comment down below and subscribe. And as always, it's been your boy Coach Ed. See you later.